Alright, Shalom. This is the brother Kaya from GMS New Orleans coming back at you with another lesson. Prior to getting started, as I always do, I'd like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Shemri Kahakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And salutation to the Akims that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. And this is the continuance, alright, of a lesson that I did. It was a couple weeks ago, all right, concerning what happens in the first hours and the days after a total grid collapse. Because when I was in the midst of the lesson, all right, I think Edom police got behind me. I didn't get stopped or anything like that. It just was, they was just kind of just following me. You know, I was on my way to work, so salaki for that. But I wanted to get into the steps, all right, or the process in which a grid collapse happened and how it affects the people, all right, of that which is inside the grid, all right, you know. So I found this to be very interesting concerning, you know, the times to come, because these are the things we facing, and realistically, you know, this is reality, man. All right, realistically, full. Realistically, these are the things we may facing, and we gonna need mercy. All right, full just showed up on the license plate and called out for that, because what the day of the Lord gonna be dark, gloomy. All right, you know, is, you know, even, you know, his righteous shall scarcely make it. So we consider that day, man. All right, approved man foresaid the evil and hided himself by prayer, all right, the works of the Lord, and amongst other things, because contrary to popular belief, this system is gonna go down, man, and it's gonna go down hard. All right, I had mentioned in the other video of this, dating back to when I did it, all right, of the movie EMP 333. All right, on 333 days of cyber attack happened, and it showed how it got progressively worse day by day. All right, so that's what I'm pretty much illustrating here. You know, the get your minds ready to, you know, to potentially have to face this. Now, I don't want to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai be with us with the angels, you know, and let it be so. Let the Lord judgment be so. All right, now I stopped at this point. It says natural gas, the hidden dependency. All right, and what you're gonna see is, you know, day one they tell you the power goes out, right, within hours. I probably have to read it again, Salakia. All right. It says, how quickly could societal order erode without electricity, water, natural gas, and waste removal systems? Let's break down the cascading failures and how they might unfold, while also exploring what you can do to prepare for the worst. The power goes out day one. Electricity is often the first utility to fail during a disaster, and its loss triggers a domino effect. All right. It says, without power, traffic lights stop working, creating chaos on the roads. Refrigerators shut down, and the clock begins to tick for perishable food. Within hours, the modern conveniences we take for granted vanish, leaving families to confront the harsh reality of a powerless world. And that's why they moved to electric on everything, so they can control, all right, the things that's necessities until, you know, the way we survive and live, man. All right, they hooked everything up to electricity. Okay, it says the U.S. electric grid, much of which was built in the mid-20th century and is old and outdated, all right, is aging and vulnerable. You see, equipment failure, natural disaster, and cyber attacks all pose significant risks. When power plants run out of fuel or key components fail, the likelihood of an extended outage grows exponentially. Without electricity, communication systems also fail, leaving people cut from news, emergency alerts, and loved ones, right? So the whole goal is to isolate, all right? You're isolated. Now there's no banding together. And most of these vehicles are powered on electricity. They run by gas, all right? But the cars are not going to be working either, man.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 220 for I-310 south toward Booty, Homa.
I don't know why that's even on now. Okay, it says natural gas, the hidden dependency. Many assume natural gas will continue to flow during a power outage, but that's often not the case. While some gas lines use natural gas powered compressors, the majority rely on electricity to keep the system pressurized. See? In the event of a grid collapse, these systems can fail, cutting off heat, cooking, and hot water for millions of homes. And that's why when electricity shut down, if you got an electric water heater, all right, when electricity get cut out, whatever the hot water that done powered the water in there, whenever they run out, it's gonna be cold, man. All right. Hey, brothers been taking cold showers, you know. It shocked the body, you know. It's a lot of medicinal purposes inside of that, man. Okay, but just to let you know, you got to get ready for a hard time on every avenue. Blackouts, you know, cold showers, even if you can get in the shower. Cold weather, you know. Picture the lights out, the water hot, cold, and it's fucking 20 degrees outside, man. That's very cold for us here in New Orleans. You know, down south it don't get very cold, but right now it's like 50 or 60 and it's freezing, Jake, man, because we're not accustomed to that. Well, you know the Lord said, pray not your flight be in the winter. So I'm sure through the Spirit of the Lord, He gonna turn these days cold, you know, when He's coming back. That just makes sense. Like, why would that be right there? All right. It says, additionally, natural gas pipelines are equipped with safety shutoff valves designed to prevent explosions during emergencies. These valves often require manual resets to resume operations, which could take days or even weeks, depending on the scale of the disaster. Families rely on gas for warmth during winter outages, could face life-threatening conditions without alternative heating methods. Yeah, people can freeze to death. All right, and again, without heat, you can't cook any food. You know, so those things pose a direct threat to people's livelihood, man, and their survival. It says water, the lifeline under threat. All right, it says municipal water systems depend on electricity to power the pumps that move water from treatment plants to homes. Many cities store water in elevated towers, allowing gravity to keep taps running from a short period after a power outage. However, these reserves typically last no more than a day or two. Compounding the problem, disasters like earthquakes or floods can damage water lines and contaminate supplies. In such scenarios, even water flows from the tap may be unsafe to drink. Yeah, because those electric lines pump, you know, the water and the chemicals inside the water, you know, to filter the water. So if that get cut off, there's no more filtration process. It says clean water quickly becomes the most critical resource, and those without stored reserves or filtration systems, may find themselves in dire straits. Sewer systems, the silent crisis. Few people think about what happens to their waste during a utility failure. Without flowing water, toilets can no longer flush, and sewer systems backed up by electrical pumps stop functioning. Hey, you still gonna have your daily bowel movements. You know, Jake's still gonna have to take a number 2, and right, have a bowel movement. And even, you know, number 1, with that sitting in there, it's gonna cause a disturbing smell, man. All right, that can also get you sick. you know, from inhaling, you know, different toxins and different things of that nature. It says, over time, waste buildups, creating both health hazards and unbearable living conditions. In areas affected by flooding or infrastructure damage, sewage can mix with clean water supplies, spreading diseases like cholera and dysentery. Managing human waste safely becomes a top priority in these situations, especially when it's unclear how long systems will remain offline. It says trash collection holds a ticking time bomb. Modern society generates vast amounts of waste, and when trash collection service stop, the results are immediate and alarming. See, it's going to be one problem and issue after another. All right? Is this the same? And then you got to still deal with the animals, and you know, it's going to be like, man, it says spoiled food and other organic waste begin to rot, attracting pests and creating unpleasant odors. Within days, streets and homes are overrun with garbage, accelerating public health risks. So everything poses a health risk. All right, and in that time, it ain't gonna be no ways to get medicines, herbs, you know, of different nature. So people who have weaker immune systems, is gonna attack their immune systems, man, which is gonna cause death, fatalities, amongst other things. It says the longer trash piles up, the worse the problem becomes. In hot or rainy conditions, decomposition speeds up, releasing harmful bacteria and making cleanup efforts even more challenging. Proper trash management, including storing or burning waste, becomes essential for maintaining a safe and sanitary environment, which during the grid collapse, everything become unsanitary, man. All right? Now, the breakdown of order. See? Now the chaos comes. As utilities fail, panic sets in. Grocery stores quickly run out of food, and without resupply, many households are left with dwindling resources. By the third or fourth day, cooperation between neighbors often gives way to desperation. People begin looting stores or even raiding other homes for supplies. Let's get that, all right? This is our second address. Course of people actually gonna stand in their own hand. I ain't get no precepts locking for that. Right? I'm about to probably have to cut it short because this second address 15 and 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their own power. See? See that? Start at 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that our power shall send upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn. See? For their seed shall fail through the blasting in hell, and with a fearful constellation. See, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up against and fight against another, and swords in their hand. See? So there shall be sedition amongst men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. See? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. See that? It says, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You see? So, things gonna get taken, all right? All holy hell gonna break loose. But this all created for the chaos. It says emergency services stretched thin by the scope of the disaster with 911. You know, different people ain't gonna be able to help. They're gonna have too many, it's gonna be polycrisis going on, man. All right, like 2012. All right, they had a plethora of issues coming from everywhere. They had earthquakes, volcanoes erupting, hell, tornadoes, tsunamis. All right, too many things was happening. And emergency responders gonna have to look out for their families. They're gonna have to watch themselves. You see? It says emergency services stretched thin by the scope of the disaster may be unable to respond to every crisis. Hospital lose critical equipment, and you saw the doctors in there just trying to service everybody. Everybody was hurt, broken. It had a couple doctors. The people don't have the knowledge to, you know, deal with that, and they don't have the supplies. Because even when you get hurt and injured, you need the supplies to properly treat wounds, man. It says hospital lose critical equipment, police forces face overwhelmed phone lines, and fire, they ain't gonna even have a phone line. Electricity gonna be out. And fire departments are handicapped without water pressure or communication systems. This lack of institutional support further erodes societal order. And I'll stop there and get the rest, all right? Okay, I'll pick up on transportation and supply chains grind to a halt. So I don't want Ratazada was edifying, man. Leave another part to the next time.